Now, I mentioned this in passing last night, but I wanted to make this nice and clear to everyone up the front of the show who may have missed last night's program. There is a disgusting strain that is starting to pop up in the Australian media, and it is all political. There's a term in politics called opposition research. This is where you're trying to go and find out the worst possible things, the dirt unit stuff, about your political opponents. It's where you do anything you can to pull apart the people who are criticising your government. And there are two horrible examples of it happening to victims of the heartlessness of the Palaszczuk government. Last week we told you in great detail, and you answered the call so beautifully, about the 4 kids and their ability to be able to go and see their father before he dies. We did that because there were stories like this in the Gold Coast Bulletin. This man's family was finally given approval, but they were told at one point that they had to choose between the kids that were able to cross the border. It was going to cost $16,000 for each of them each time to be able to go into hotel quarantine. That is not the quarantine that currently is being enjoyed by movie stars and AFL players, so park that one. But of course, as the Chief Medical Officer said herself, she gave those people the chance to play by the poolside because they bring money. These people instead get charged for money. Well, opposition research kicks in. This pops up online, and there was another one over at SBS, and there has been plenty on Twitter, where families are complicated. Families are difficult. We decided to back in the kids. But now the stories are out there about what type of a father this bloke really is. As if the kids still aren't in a situation where they should be given the opportunity to see their father. The trolling that has been happening in the past couple of days because of the monies that you gave to that family has been extraordinary. But there's other examples of it. Remember last week, Sarah, where this image will become the defining image of the heartlessness of the Queensland government, where Sarah, who comes from Canberra, an area that doesn't have coronavirus, had to wear that while not attending her father's funeral, not hugging her sister, but instead seeing his body in private under police guard. Opposition research, however, means there must be something wrong with this story. So the ABC, taxpayer organisations, well, they, of course, were able to dig up another family member who was critical of the Prime Minister for reacting to the story that Sarah put into the market by calling 4BC's breakfast show in the middle of last week. But it wasn't just the ABC. The Turnbull Times was more than happy to run opposition research on Sarah. Also, the opposition research which ran in the Channel 9 newspapers, again, effortlessly echoing the political criticisms of one part of the family. Now, families are messy. When you turn around and try to highlight one part of a family's struggle with the borders, there will always be someone somewhere else in the family that will come out and give us a reason as to why things aren't as bad as they seem. But last week you felt what you felt because you saw the reality. That a young Queenslander wasn't able to see her father despite living in a place that hadn't had coronavirus for 6 weeks, and 4 kids were not able to see their dad because it was going to cost too much money. We were able to overcome the money trouble, but the opposition research, which parades as news in this country, is disgraceful. And that, of course, produces a chilling effect, because the Queensland government and the political want of the Queensland government is that all criticism must be crushed. But you, the quiet Australian, you, the quiet Queenslander, know the difference. If you're watching us right now in Toowoomba, Ipswich, Cairns, Townsville, or even suburban Brisbane, you know what's really going on. And the idea that there are so many cheerers of the left and Team Red fantasists who will so effortlessly jump on the real victims in order to save the political victim tells you a lot about the disgusting media culture that we have in this country right now.